Okay, folks, for your Geogebra activity, you're going to go ahead and open a spreadsheet view. What we want to do here is make a list of values, and we're going to take the square root of those values and also take the cube root. So let me just make a list of numbers. So I'll start off with 1, so you just hit 1 in cell A1. And again, you open this by going to View, Spreadsheet. And after that I say equals cell A1, so just type A1, or I think you can click on it, plus 1. So it just increases whatever's in that cell plus 1. And then if I want to copy that formula down, I just hover over the corner and drag it down. And I think I want to go all the way to 64. 64 is the square root of 8. And it's also the cube root of 4. So the cube root of 64 is 4. So now over here, I want to say this is going to be all my square roots. So the square root of 1 will be in this first cell. So I type in SQRT parentheses, and then I click on this, and I'll put the square root of A1 into there. So you just type equals square root parentheses, and then you can type A1 or you can click on it and we'll put it in there for you. Okay, now I want to copy that formula down, so I click on the 1 and then I hover over the corner and until it turns into a plus, and I drag it down, and now you'll see that the square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, and the ones in between, you see, those are all irrational numbers. So the square root of 8 is irrational, the square root of 2 is irrational, and the square root of 3 is irrational. Now I'm going to do the cube root. So in the third column, I'll say equals, cube root is CBRT, parentheses, and then I click on that, and I'll give me the cube root of 1, which is 1, and I drag this on down. 64, and there it is. So you can see all the cube root values of these different numbers. So the cube root of 8 is 2, and the cube root of 27 is 3. You can see all these numbers in between are irrational numbers, and all the way down to the cube root of 64 is 4. And if I went on to 125, you'd see the cube root of 125 is 5. So what I want to do is kind of model these numbers in the graph. I'm not going to make points in the graph, but I do want to change the color of this. So I'm going to change this to the cube root. I will change to blue. Click on any color here you like. And then column B, I'll highlight that. Change that color to green. Okay, and so you can see those. And then what I want to do is make a slider bar. So I'm going to make that slider bar go from 0. Well, let's go from 1. Well, let's go from 0. 0 to 64. Add an increment of 1, apply, and then I'll make another slider bar B, also from 0 to 64, increment of 1, and then I'll color this to match my other colors. So no, I don't want that. Right click, object properties, color. So for the first one, I'll make it green. This will be my square root, and then B I will make blue to match my cube root. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is say x squared equals a. Alright, so if x squared equals a, that would mean x is equal to the square root of a. And I'm going to color that also green. Right click on it, object properties, change the color to green. Okay, and then what else? How about x cubed equals b? So that means b is equal to the cube root. X is equal to the cube root of b. So let's see. Let's change the values. I want to click on my. Alright, so when b is equal to 8, that means x is equal to 2. Object properties, blue. And just so I can have a nice reading of that point as it moves along, because it's telling me it's between 2 and 3, which is good information, but I want to find, so the cube root of 12, if I look on the list, the cube root of 12 is 2.28. Over there it lists it, but I want to have it show on my chart while I'm moving it. So I go to this one and I click on intersect. So I want to find the intersection of that line and the x-axis. So I just click on that, and it gives me point A. And while I'm here, I'll find the intersection of that and that. And I do not want it to say A, so I want, where do I click? Double click on that? Okay, right click. All my points, I want to change their object properties. And I want the labels, so I click on basic and change the label to value. Alright, so now it tells me the value, and it's that x coordinate is 2.289 blah blah blah, comma 0, and we're just looking at the y-axis where the y value is always 0. So no worries there. And as I go out, you can see that, hey, when I hit 27, it turns into a whole number. When I hit 64, it turns into a whole number. Everything between is an irrational number, then boom, hits a whole number. And when I get down to what number hits a whole number again? 8, boom, hits a whole number. And when I go to 1, hits a whole number. And then 0. Yep. So you can have fun with that. Pick some points where they're whole numbers. So where do you think it's going to hit on A? So it hits at 2, which is square root of 4, 3 square root of 9, 4 square root of 16, and this one we can go a lot higher because it's just squared. 6 is at 36. And you can see that all the numbers between are irrational. So the square root of 39 is square root of 40 is 6.32455, 3203. So that's what you're going to build and send to your teacher. So have fun with that.